Hi class, this is Neil, and this is lesson 3 of Unit 1. And in this lesson, we're taking a deeper look into function notation. All right, so in our do now here, we're told that we're given a collection of inputs, x, and outputs, f of x, of a function, f of x, and they're collected in the table below. All right, so let's just take a look at the data we have there. So remember, x is our inputs, f of x is our outputs. Okay, so if I put in 3, what comes out is -2. If I put in 5, what comes out is 0. If I put in 10, what comes out is 5. If I put in 20, what comes out is 15. Well, it seems like the rule there is I'm subtracting 5. So what will the output be if I put into the machine 13? Well, if I put in 13 and I'm subtracting 5 each time, then my output will be 8. Okay. Let's look at the second one. If the output is 2, what was the input given to the function? So how is this question different than the first one? Well, in this one, we're given the output. We're told we end up with 2. Now, if I ended up with 2, and my rule is that I had to subtract 5 to get there, then what did I start with? Well, my input here has to be 7, because 7 minus 5 equals 2. So my input here was 7. Okay, part C, what is the general equation for h of x? Okay, our general equation is our function written in terms of x, so h of x equals whatever our input is, so whatever x is, minus 5. And that's the general equation for that function. All right, so let's get into the lesson. So I'm told in number 1 that f of x is equal to 2x minus 3. And I'm asked to determine the value of f of 4. So this is function notation that says my input, or f, well, the way we read this is really f of 4. That's how we read it. F is my function, and my input here is 4. Okay, so if I'm asked to determine f of 4, I need to input f for x. So 2 times 4 minus 3, f of 4 is equal to 8 minus 3, or f of 4 equals 5. All right, let's take a look at number 2. So let g of x equal x squared plus 4x minus 5. Determine the result of each of the following. What's the big difference in this equation and the first one? Well, you might say that there's an x squared. You might see that x appears in 2 different places in the equation. It is different, but only slightly so. The process remains the same. So for g of 4, I'm going to replace x with 4 in my equation. Okay, now using PEMDAS, I'll just write that here. All right, so I'm going to start with the exponent. So 16 plus 4 times 4 is 16 minus 5. So that's 32 minus 5. I'm just left with addition and subtraction, so I just work from left to right. 32 minus 5 is 27. All right, for part B, what's the big difference here? Well, our input is a letter or constant that is unknown to us. So I'm going to plug in for x, b. And now I'm just going to simplify. Well, b to the second power is the same as b squared plus 4 times b is just 4b minus 5. Part C is very similar to part B. What's the only difference? Well, you're right. It's a different letter. So I might cheat on this one and just go to my final answer and just change out the letters in the equation. Nothing else is going to change there. Okay, question 3. Consider the function f of x equals 3x minus 4. Determine f of 11. Okay, so my input here is 11. I'm going to replace x with 11 every place I see it in the equation. And I'll have f of 11 equals 33 minus 4, or f of 11 equals 29. Okay, for part B, if f of b equals 11, determine the value of b. Well, here I'm working in the opposite direction. Let's start with our equation. F of x equals 3x minus 4. And now I know the value of my function here. It's 11. So 11 equals 3x minus 4. What I don't know is b, or my input. And I actually went a little too fast there. So we're told f of b equals 11. So I'm just going to actually write that in. F of b equals 3 times b minus 4. Now I know what this f of b is. I know it's 11. So I'm going to write 11 equals 3b minus 4. And to solve this equation, first thing I'm going to do is add 4 to both sides. I'll get 15 equals 3b. To solve for b, I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So b equals 5. Or my input here is 5. Okay, let's take a look at part C. F of c equals 8. Determine the value of c. Okay, so I'm going to replace everything in my equation with c. So f of c equals, here's my equation from way back when, 3 times c minus 4. Now we know what this part of the equation is. We know what f of c is. It's 8. So I'm going to write 8 equals 3c minus 4. Solving for c, I need to get the 3c by itself. 12 equals 3c. Divide by 3. And I see that c equals 4. Okay. So there's just some practice problems around these ideas. We can go through them pretty quickly. So we've got, if g of x equals 2x minus 1, then which of the following is g of 4? Okay, all I'm going to do is substitute in 4 for x. 2 times 4 minus 1. 8 minus 1. It's an ugly 1. 8 minus 1 is 7. We'll fill it in. Okay, if f of x equals 2x squared minus 4x plus 5, what is f of negative 3? Well, here, I'm just going to replace x every place I see it by negative 3. Now, if you have a calculator, that's great. If not, we just have to remember our rules for negatives. So negative 3 squared is 9. I'm going to simplify that to 2 times 9. Negative 4 times negative 3 is 12. And then add another 5. Now I have 18 plus 12 plus 5. That's just a nice, neat 35. Oh, and that's one of my answers, so I feel good about that. All right, question 3. If f of x equals 3x minus 11, determine the value of f of 7. So my input here is 7. I replace x with 7. And here I got 21 minus 11, or just 10. All right, part B. F of 10 equals 3 times 10. 10 is my input, minus 11. 30 minus 11. Oh my gosh. So that's not as hard as I think. 30 minus 11 is 19. Good. Perfect. F of c equals 7. Then what is the value of c? Okay, this one's a little bit different. So I'm replacing x first with c. F of c equals 3 times c minus 11. Okay, I know what f of c is. It's 7. So 7 equals 3c minus 11. Let's add 11 to both sides. I'm going to get 18 equals 3c. Divide by 3 to solve for c. c equals 6. All right, if f of d equals 49, what is the value of d? Okay, so first things first, I'm going to replace x with d. My output, f of d, is 49. Okay, so how do I get d by itself? Same as before. I add 11 to both sides. 3d equals 60. Therefore, d equals 20. All right, so that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed, and see you guys in class.